Alright, today I'm going to be talking about the United States in Geoguessr, how to distinguish it from other countries, mostly, is what I'll be talking about. So the United States is definitely a tough country because, you have such a diverse landscape, right? You have here in Alaska, you have what's pretty much, Arctic desert, and then down here near Mexico you have desert, and then you have mountains, you have just all sorts of different things, fields, so it's really hard to distinguish. Definitely the most common countries that it gets confused with is Canada and Australia. Australia, it should be easy to distinguish apart from, since it's in this Australia's in the southern hemisphere, and yeah, that's for Australia. But Australia does look really similar, especially right here. This really looks like these types of lawns that don't really have curves or sidewalks. That looks really Australian to me. But one thing, as we saw in our original location, that's nice with the US is that there are tons of flags. So you don't really have to travel far to see a flag. So that's something nice. But here, so this is really important. This will be a really good indicator that you're in the United States. The speed limit signs, because first of all, 30, that's obviously miles per hour, but it could be 30 kilometers per hour, whatever. So we could still be in Canada. But in Canada, it doesn't say speed limit. It usually says maximum as opposed to speed limit. And the number here, since it would be in kilometers per hour, it would be what, like 40 or 45 or maybe 35. But anyways, it would say maximum and it would have a slightly higher number. So here we can see that we're kind of on a residential road, so you can expect the speed limit to be between 25 and 35. So yeah, double yellow line here indicates that you're in America, anyone, Canada, US, Mexico, Brazil. So as soon as you see the double yellow lines, you can already rule out the entirety of Europe, right? You can just tell yourself, well, I'm sure 100% that that this is in somewhere in the Americas. Now the US, as does Canada, has a lot of these green signs. Now if you're playing like NMPZ, no moving, panning, or zooming, of course you're not going to have very many indicators for that it's the US. But if you're just playing normally and you can move around, if you're playing Battle Royale or Country Streak, you're going to find flags everywhere. And you can easily rule out Europe because of the double yellow line, and just look for a speed limit sign to distinguish it from Canada. Yeah, to distinguish it from Australia, you're going to want to have you're going to want to make sure that you know where the sun is. Of course, there's some photospheres and stuff like that where the sun is off. So that's always a problem. But you should be like here. This is obviously not Australia. Australia doesn't have it's not as forested as this. It's drier, flatter. So this lawn could be mistaken for a southern hemisphere lawn because of kind of the patchiness, the light green, not as luscious as you can expect, and kind of just clean, low cut. That kind of looks like more of a southern hemisphere lawn. This doesn't. This looks a little like a brighter green and stuff like that. But yeah, the main things are, look for the double yellow line. You've already eliminated all of Europe. Then if you see English, you've already eliminated all of this part of South America. And then you're between Canada and the US, and the best way to distinguish Canada and the US is the speed limit signs. Alright, I'm going to do all 60 countries in Geoguessr. So, yeah, this was number 1.